Since the Yankee come to Trinidad, they got all the young girls going mad. Young girls say they treat them nice, make Trinidad like paradise. Drink rum like Coca-Cola, go down Point Cumana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar.
Pieguy, it's week 6. Welcome, everyone, to the most monotone podcast there is, talking about CFL, the Canadian Football League. Boring bets. Anyways, cheers. It's been a long week. Oh, people talk about it. Friends, family. Nah, not really. I'm just shooting the shit. I'm just trying to drive up some revenue for the channel. You know, big fat zero. You know, actually, no, scratch that. It's not a big fat zero. You know why? For the first time this year, for this season 2, we are in the green, up 3.5 units on the season.
Yep.
15 and 13 as our record, and our best bet up 4 units, 4-1. Thank you, Tie Cats. What's the chant? Give us the chant.
Oski wee wee, Oski wawa, holy mackerel, Tigers, eat 'em raw, and they did.
Oh, they killed them. They ate them raw.
51
Kenny
points.
Lawler ate them raw.
He was beating them by himself for a little bit there until the grand touchdown.
There was a reason why Montreal was double teaming the guy, and the Argos thought, we can 1-1 this guy. We saw what happened.
They are cooked.
And they 2-1, and you get cooked. And cooked. I said it earlier in the season. On paper, this Tie Cats team should do well. And hey, man, we talked about it last week. They were doing pretty good. But let's recap last week. It was an interesting week. Obviously, started with the Stampede Bowl, one of our big wins. One of the few people that were cheering on the Stampeders, especially with that line doing a crazy jump towards the Bombers towards the end of that before kickoff. Seemed like everyone was on the Blue Bombers thinking it was going to be an easy win. Hey, Brady comes in and it's a bet on spot. We stood tall, man.
Well, the Joes were definitely on Winnipeg. Like one of the guys at work who bet CFL said I was touched for betting Calgary, and then he didn't say that on Friday. So when we came at Friday, he was very quiet. The Joes were on Winnipeg, and I saw some pros on the Stamps, especially after the line got to 4.5, 5.5 on Thursday in the afternoon. We talked about it, that this was not a good spot. It's their third game in 11 days. They're an older team. And Brady was back, and I didn't think he was going to be back. And I was a little worried, because usually when the line moves, I'm not afraid to put some more down. But I was like, Brady's back. Maybe I just keep what I have. And what I had was good. So Brady was good, too. Like, that wasn't a mirage. Brady played well. He was probably the best player on the Bombers on Thursday night, and it didn't matter. Calgary cooked them. And like I said last week, I was wrong. I was wrong. Calgary's not bad. But we saw it early. The markets haven't caught up yet. We see Moncrief is good. Webb is good. Vernon Adams, we knew Vernon Adams was going to be good. But it was the rest of the team. They have receiving depth. And don't look now, Malik Henry is supposed to come back within the next 2-3 weeks, I hear. So, again, they're deep at receiver. Other positions, not so much. But we'll see what happens this week here.
Yeah, for sure. And then we kind of rolled into the next game on the Saturday. No, sorry, the Friday. Then it was the smash.
We're at the game.
Almost kind of want to erase the Argos loss. Obviously, Twitter was up in arms about, was there not enough Tie-Cat fans in the stadium? I mean, listen, on record, it's not on the Tie-Cats to fill an opponent's stadium. I'm sorry. Don't go blaming another fan base if that's your case for not showing up on a Friday night in Toronto with all traffic and all that stuff. That being said, what a game!
Also, it was with 4th of July weekend, Hamilton's a lot closer to the American border than Toronto is. So
And it was a hell of a game. Listen, you know what? We thought the Argos would not score. We thought the Argos were going to keep the score so low, and we didn't think Hamilton could get that over on their own. Man, what a game! It was a shootout from the get-go. A lot of trick plays here and there. Argos put up the most points they have all season. Still looked like a shell of a team compared to the Hamilton team, and a fairly disciplined game. Both sides. I mean, Toronto had quite a bit of penalties, but they were never significant penalties. Always the procedures, the 5 yards.
And I'm still on the nothing surprise. Okay, surprised that the Argos scored 30 points. Whatever. Those unders were bad. It was the coaching staff and the special teams that kind of led those points. Like the first drive was good. You could tell that was Dinwiddie cooking.
Yeah.
Obviously the special teams play was good. But the rest of the team was mediocre. The rust of the plays were Kevin Brown was going a little bit here and there. They got one good drive after the opening drive that ended in touchdown. Other than that, it was Janarian Grant good field or Janarian Grant touchdown and some penalties that kind of helped to move the ball or the good field position on a bad tie kick, something like that. Yeah. There was nothing impressive about the Argos offense, in my opinion. It actually went as planned. I probably just should have not bet unders, and we're probably staying off unders for a bit. Though the next game did go under the total, the Lions
That's right.
And the Montreal.
Yeah, before we jump right to that game, because that one also had a very interesting ending. We did have our first millionaire come from 2 kickoffs.
Oh, yes.
On Friday. Went to a guy who's, I think they were reporting he was, hitting 80 almost. So why not give $1 million to a guy who's about to, croak?
What sucks for him is it's probably the 20-year annuity or whatever it is, $50,000 a year. So I'm sure they'll give him a lump sum of 300K or something. But and he'll probably at 80 years old, he'll probably take it.
Oh, I would. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. It might be 500K. I can't remember. They're
whatever.
You got to read the rules, but they'll offer him a lump sum. Yeah.
That was the first time it happened since they started offering this opportunity. I think after it started after the first COVID season, so it hasn't happened since then. It's a fairly rare occasion, and here we go. We had it in this game. Another rare occasion happened on Saturday, a post-game brawl.
Yes,
and a lot of people talking also on the socials about stadium configuration, particularly in the East, where a lot of the benches are actually side by side, not so much in the West, where you actually have opposite sides of the field with the benches. And a lot of rules around whether or not that should be the case. Anyways, listen, that game was an interesting one. I think, it's apparently an unpopular opinion, but I think the BC Lions were a tad lucky. I mean, listen, when you're getting that down with
a tad lucky. They were very lucky to win.
I know
that game.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be nice to people because all these BC Lion fans are at me going, "What do you mean lucky? What do you mean?" No, and there was no skill in that game. Okay.
Well, I know so there was Montreal blew it. Okay, they absolutely blew that game. But credit to BC, they hung around. Montreal was killed. I watched. I didn't watch much of this, but I watched the beginning. It looked like it was going to be a Montreal blowout.
Yeah.
But Montreal couldn't finish him off. That's why I was going to be a backup quarterback, specifically McLeod Thompson. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
This is on coaching, and special teams. In terms of there were missed kicks by the Alouettes.
Yes.
And they enabled a few seconds there at the end for Sean White. You cannot let BC hang around. This is the thing with BC. They have the best quarterback in the CFL. They have the best kicker in the CFL, and you can't let them hang around because if they're within field goal, within a field goal, they will beat you, right? Like they have the two guys who matter most in the last 30, whatever it was, 18 seconds, 30 seconds. They have the two guys in the CFL that matter the most: Nathan Rourke and Sean White. Sean White doesn't miss, and Nathan Rourke is probably the best quarterback in the league. If you had a better offensive line, he'd be much, much better, probably. But but I mean, Montreal is running the ball at will. BC's offense, being stymied, it was Rourke hero again, and it was enough with the kicker.
100%.
Because Montreal can't put anyone away.
Well, Montreal was also being very safe that entire game. I don't think Bethel Thompson threw anything further than 20 yards. They actually ran it quite well.
That times when you have McLeod in there. Yeah. And I'm not surprised that McLeod Bethel Thompson is starting, and we see brawls, and we see this edge to Jason Moss, and we see he is trouble. I'm telling you, he is trouble. Look, this is two games. Okay, the first game, who did they play? It was Hamilton. It wasn't a great spot. Yeah. It was the typical McLeod. I'm surprised he didn't complain about it. Spot. He started complaining at the end of the game. They said, "Oh, you're gonna let McLeod throw. We're gonna intercept. We're just gonna wait. Patience." BC did the same thing. Patience. Just hang around. Our quarterback's much better. Our kicker is better. Was better on that night for sure. And he's probably the best kicker at the current point. Perrin is throughout his career might be a little bit better, but right now Sean White is the best kicker. And you have Montreal, who frankly, when you see all these games go over the total, you only score 20 points. Like that's a problem. And the coach, you're fighting on the sideline. The coach, getting upset. It was the coach take the 15-yard penalty that
he did
enabled the kick. Yeah. So I mean, I'll tell you, and I told you at the beginning of the season, McLeod is cancer, and I think we're starting to see it hint out. Now it wasn't him in this game, so maybe I was, maybe it's not him. Maybe it's Jason Moss. Maybe it's something else. But the fact that when he's starting, we're starting to see these sort of cracks in the Alouettes. Trouble. Yeah, it's not.
Sounds
it's
like
not,
Davis is back after this bye. It's a good time for them to have a bye.
For sure.
For a couple of teams to have byes, and we'll get into that. And then the last game on Sunday, we had the Edmonton Elks versus the Red Blacks. A very interesting tactic by Mark Killiam, kind of playing the tandem between Ford and Fajardo. A couple of plays here or there. I know a lot of people were up in arms like, "Oh, just keep playing Ford." I thought it kind of worked. I think he was situationally playing them. But they hung in there. They almost blew it occasionally here or there, but they turned it around and they stunk in and ended up winning. But it just shows how much Drew Brown means to this Ottawa team. They just look a tad more competent when he's behind that line, but still a lot of problems there. Another week, a bunch of penalties again. The Bob Dice special showing up here and there. What you think about that?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the preview for the Red Blacks too much because I have some things to say about them. But Edmonton looked good. The switching quarterback, okay. I get having a plan going into the game, okay. But when the guy's 9 for 9, he's cooking, and of course he's cooking. It's the Red Black secondary. You don't put in Fajardo. It's the same thing. A couple of years ago, the Blue Jays played in the wild card round, and they had the plan. We're going to do 3 innings Shoemaker, and then 3 innings or Schumacher, and then 3 innings Robbie Ray, right?
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't hit Shoemaker at all, and they stuck to the plan, and they put in Ray, and trouble started, and they lost the game. You got to read the situation. When Trey Ford is running all over not running, but passing all over this team, the offense is clicking. They can't be stopped. You don't pull them. You know what I mean? If it's I get it was the plan before the game, but Cody's of it talking about, listen, Trey Ford, we can't take him out right now. I mean, he's destroying this team. We got to leave him in there. We'll give you some time later in the game, but we're gonna keep him in for now. He's a vet. He knows he's the second guy. I don't think he's not McLeod Bethel Thompson. You know what I mean? I think he'll be fine with it. So it disrupted the flow It didn't matter though. They still whooped them, in my opinion. I don't think that
Yeah.
the score is flattering to Ottawa. Edmonton should win the game at 12-40, but I'm pissed because I'm picking my Edmonton by 14. I was like, oh, look, it's fantastic. And then Ottawa goes and scores a late touchdown and they cut it to 6.
Yeah.
Because they were, I think, by 13. It was almost like right on. But yeah, we hit all 3 bets in that game. Numbnuts here forgot to bet the over, but it still counts for the show. We gave it out. So
exactly. I bet it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. But I still got the money in the other 2 bets. I'm not complaining. It was a great week.
No, it was a great
fantastic.
week. I mean, you got the Hamilton money line, you had the Calgary wins, you had the Edmonton wins, and we avoided the one game where could have flipped, and it did.
Well, we said it. We said it last week. We said this game's weird. I ain't touching it. And look what happened. It was by far the weirdest, strangest game of the week.
Very unpredictable. Every play was kind of.
And it was the same thing I said a thing. Like, do you want to go in? It was last Wednesday or Thursday day because there's no Thursday game this evening. But last Wednesday, I said, do you really want to go and lay 3, 4.5, and then find out it's McLeod Bethel Thompson against Nathan Rourke, like maybe the biggest quarterback mismatch of the CFL, unless Schultz is in there. And then, and then on the other side, do you want to go take 3.5 with BC and find out, Masoli starting? Or Bryce. Bryce, I wouldn't mind it too much, but or Dave against Davis Alexander, and the line moves to 7. I'm like, come on, it's just, I'm not. There's no way that. The quarterbacks of those teams are too much of a like Rourke is probably 6-7 points better than the next guy, and Davis is probably the same. I think so. You can't.
It might be the best right now. Let's talk about another team that's the best right now in the CFL. I do a lot of the power ranking consensus and such, and everyone's got them at the top. They are the only undefeated team in the CFL right now, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I mean, they face some questionable opposition in terms of they haven't faced anyone on the top half of the power rankings yet. But here they are taking on Calgary, who I guess on paper and I guess in the standings are actually number 2 in the CFL right now. And playing really well
as it is.
And here we go with a line that opened and has stayed at 5.5 for the 2 here. And now I get it; they're in Saskatchewan. But I look at this injury report here, and aside from Harris coming back, Saskatchewan's missing Campbell. Who else are they missing? Neal. I mean, he's a Canadian that you have to account for. You're missing Oneka. Who else? Tate is out. You got a couple of big guys who are just holding that line. Your fullback's also out. Thomas Bertrand Hudden sometimes plays that running back when Ouellette can't do it. And then you're also out Sam Emulus. So you're out some key Canadians on your lineup. You're out some of your key defensive specialist guys. No, yes, Roland Milligan is still in and such. But it's a little bit of an interesting injury report after being on a bye last week, and still having a lot of injuries here. And then you have Calgary, who is coming in here still relatively healthy. I know they're out Barnes, but that means Alford starts, and I think he's starting. It's his first career start, so he's in. He looked great in that game. Anyone else really out over there? No, you still have your big guys, Webb, Moncrief, playing fantastic right now. This is an interesting matchup here. What's your thoughts on this one? Are we fully on board on this Saskatchewan train? Like we bet it early on them as our future bet at plus 700. They're now coming in between plus 250 to 300 on winning the Grey Cup. So like they are the clear favorites right now and on almost across every sport book, between them and Montreal to win the Grey Cup. Do you buy it? Are you riding?
Well, so here's the thing: if Saskatchewan plays Winnipeg in the final, then Saskatchewan's going to be the favorite. If Calgary plays Saskatchewan in the West final, if Saskatchewan plays at home in the West final, they will be the favorite. If they play on the road, they will not be the favorite. Unless it's if they go to Calgary, maybe it's close. But if they go to Winnipeg, they're going to get cooked again. We know what happens happens there.
Yes.
So luck now. Calgary beat Winnipeg. They did Saskatchewan a favor here. But that was a good spot for Calgary. This is Saskatchewan off the bye at home. But historically, Calgary's played very well in Regina.
They have.
So
Dave is great here.
you know, I'm not, and it's not like it's a, last week in Winnipeg it was 3 games in 11 days for the Bombers, whereas Calgary 8-day rest. They played Thursday last week. They did win the Stampede Bowl. There's it's just a letdown spot. But I read you off the quotes last week. It wasn't a big deal for them. It was another game.
No,
they played well. Yeah. And Saskatchewan out these receivers. I wouldn't be shocked if Dave Dickinson says, "Oh, well, you don't have your 2 best receivers. We're gonna stop the run, and good luck. We're gonna load this box up
and catch some random guys,
and force the other guys to step up. Schaefer Baker, who's the other guy? I can't think of. Oh, Keyshawn Johnson. Those guys. I could see that. And Calgary still has not allowed a touchdown in the first 3 quarters. There's absolutely no way I'm laying 5.5 points against the Stampeders right now. This line is, I know Saskatchewan has a good home field advantage, but you're telling me on a neutral site, Saskatchewan is 3 points better than Calgary right now? Absolutely not. No chance. So, no. You look who they've beaten. Hamilton was like, we talk about this every week. Toronto sucks. Ottawa sucks. Toronto sucks right now. Chad Kelly's coming back. We'll see what happens.
They beat Hamilton early on.
Hamilton by 5. It was a close game. That was, I think they covered by 0.5 point either way. Hamilton was leading in that game for a bit too. So, it wasn't, it was a good game against Hamilton. And then who did they play? BC. Masoli beat them. Masoli doesn't throw those interceptions. They might not win that game. Nothing has impressed me. I was very impressed by the Ottawa win, but then you see, look what everyone else is doing to Ottawa, and it's not, unless it's a rainstorm, it's not as impressive. You know what I mean? And I get it, they're off the bye, but I don't know. Like Jamarcus Hardrick is talking the right things. The rest of the team, I've been reading the quotes, not so, because he says they're not, we're not satisfied this time. He's not satisfied because he can tell this team hasn't playing as good as it could be.
They're not a disciplined team. These guys are. The Rough Riders will live up to their name of being a Rough Rider. The roughness penalties. It's the type of penalties they get. The penalties they tend to drive into, put them in spots. Let's go back 2 weeks where they faced the Argonauts. There's no reason the Argos are as close to winning that game or even tying that game if it's not for all the penalty trouble that the Rough Riders put. And now you're facing the Stamps, who are one of the credit to Dave. This team is very disciplined, very disciplined. Now the question beckons is, can the Rough Riders get under their skin, get under the Calgary skin? Because it seems like
they're not getting in a
Rider face. They've been able to draw up some sort of. They made BC take how many penalties with Masoli in front? I mean, now granted, you had Masoli, so you had to.
And the offensive line of BC is bad, so they're going to be holding penalties. And we saw BC in a brawl last week, so I don't know how disciplined BC is.
That's true.
But
that's true.
I'm not worried about the penalties. Calgary's penalties advantage should Calgary's going to have less penalties. I would be shocked if Calgary had more penalties here. What I'm worried about is if Saskatchewan can run the ball, because Hardrick's very good. The O-line's playing well. If Saskatchewan's able to run the ball, they could win and cover this game. But if they can't, they'll probably lose. That, in my opinion, that is the thing.
Yeah.
Can Saskatchewan run the football with AJ? Because if they can't, I think they're in a little bit of trouble here.
And how many yards did Brady get last week?
I don't know. How many did he get? I didn't look at it.
Less than 50.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked like Brady Oliveira, but they can't get anything going. Now they were behind, so how so I don't know if I take that with a grain of salt. One other quote I did not like is that one of I think it was Micah Johnson. The pass rusher used to be in Calgary, and he's saying, and I don't think it was Micah Johnson. It was one of the pass rushers though, and he was saying, it's a whole different team over there. And then Mace is saying, "Oh yeah, he's got some intrinsic knowledge about the Calgary." And I'm just like, "But you just said it was a whole different team, like the same article." And I'm just like, I don't think they're on the same page. Like Jamarcus Hardrick saying,
has any secrets,
yeah. Jamarcus Hardrick saying, and it wasn't Jake Mayer, it was one of the defensive players. But Jamarcus Hardrick saying they're not, it's not good enough. You have Mace saying, well, we have guys who know Calgary, and then we have other players saying that it's a completely different Calgary team. And
you do have Mike Rose. Mike Rose knows them fairly well.
I do agree that like there is a sentiment that they could be playing better. I think from the whole team, but I don't know if they will. I'm betting Calgary. It's Calgary. Like if Calgary wins here, we're not getting this number again. I thought last week I couldn't believe this opened again.
Yeah,
and they're giving us this number. It's Calgary plus 5.5. It's a full unit, and it's. And I'm playing the money line too. I don't like plus 180 is they're going to be. I think they're going to be in first place. I think they're going to be first place after this game. I really think Saskatchewan, just like Winnipeg, is in for. I know they're coming off the bye, but it's. I'm not getting the vibes like I was with Calgary off the bye. I know Dave Dickinson's good off bye, especially at home. Yeah. But historically, we're. And Rider fans don't like the Calgary fans. It's a big rivalry. Calgary plays a lot of tough games coming up. It's you can't. This number's bad. This should be 3.5, maybe.
And
3.
And to be honest, Trevor Harris does not play. Trevor Harris doesn't play Calgary well. 3-11-2 career against.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
And Webb 4-2 against Saskatchewan.
And Webb and Moncrief have had the best PFF grade at their position this year or this last week. They were very good.
Moncrief is coming out of nowhere. Fantastic player. I'm loving this more and more every week. I'm more and more.
And we're about to talk about the shit show that let Webb go. In a minute here.
So we're going Calgary.
It's Calgary plus 5.5 full unit
and the money line.
And money line, probably up to a third of a unit on the money line. The Saskatchewan first half team total is 14.5. It's juiced to the under. I shouldn't bet any more unders, but I mean, my goodness, this team hasn't allowed a touchdown in the first 3 quarters. That's something. It's like. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I'm going to stay off. I'll stay off the Saskatchewan team total. Maybe they allow a return touchdown or something stupid. But I'm just going to bet Calgary. Because, I mean, come on. I mean, these numbers are ridiculous. Plus 180 for a team that just whooped Winnipeg.
That's what I'm trying to say. Are they second place, or are you thinking they're like 7th? Because that's what this number is telling me.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if I think Winnipeg might still be better than Calgary. That was a really bad spot. It was really bad. Okay,
I agree.
I'm certain though Saskatchewan is not the best team in the CFL. All right, I'm right now the way they're constructed, they are not the best team in the CFL. In my opinion, it's either Calgary or Winnipeg right now.
I agree.
With everybody healthy, it's probably Montreal.
Yes. Listen, I'm not going to knock on the Riders' win streak, but they had the same momentum last year, and then they ended up flipping it halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. They're fast starters, and the bye. Some teams need the bye. 4-0, not the best time for a bye week.
You want to carry that momentum. Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. I think them slowing down is what's going to hurt them. But you know what team is ramping up right now? It's your Ticats, man. And this line is blowing out of proportion. It started. What did it start? 3.5. I think it started.
3.5.
3.5. The Joes jumped on it. The Sharps jumped on it.
Nobody's betting Ottawa. They got killed by the Elks. Nobody's betting Ottawa. And they're right. They're right.
Bob Dice might be done.
How was he not then? How did he not get fired? Because they scored a last-minute touchdown to make the deficit 6?
Not even a murmur. Nothing. No one even said anything about wanting to get this guy out of the nation's capital. Like,
so I listen to the quote.
They're good to go.
This was the quote from Santos Knox this week. Oh, the penalties, it's not on Bob Dice. It's a player thing. The players have to police themselves. Bob Dice, penalties, that's something, we give them things, but that's something the players, he was pissed off with some of the penalties. And I get it. Maybe it's not Bob Dice's fault, but like, this team is a complete disaster. Okay? They have a good defensive line, and they have a good quarterback, and they're getting an offensive lineman back. Right? They're getting I can't remember his name, but he's coming back. He's probably in the injury report. It's a different kind. That's the Rough Riders. Who's coming back?
Lineman?
Yeah, offensive lineman. Pieguy. Pieguy is coming back. He will play. That helps. Okay, it does. And they,
one more guy.
Yeah. Okay. But do I expect the penalties to stop? Absolutely not. The players are going to police themselves. He pulled the safety who took a bad penalty. But like, here's the problem: the guy your secondary is bad, and the guy you're putting in for that guy is probably worse. So it's the dumb penalties too. I don't know how I'm watching the Elks game, and I'm like, the Elks tried to elk it. They were up, they were killing them, and then all of a sudden, Ottawa touchdown, or is it within 2? And what happens? Pre-snap penalties, holding. Oh, Trey Ford drops the ball on the ground. I'm gonna grab him by the face mask and bail out the Elks instead of take the lead. The Elks still have the ball. It's a comedy of errors. This team needs a bye. This Ottawa team needs a bye in the worst way.
How weird is it that Winnipeg gets a second bye, before Ottawa even has their first?
I know. When is it next week? Is there?
I think it's next. I think they finally get to take it off tomorrow. Maybe that's when he gets sacked. So that they have another.
They play Hamilton again next week. Oh boy!
No, back to back.
They don't have a bye, and when do they have a bye? It's 11 days here. Maybe there's a bye in between Sunday.
At the end of this month. At the end of this month, they have their first bye.
Oh no, they have a bye. Sorry.
Week 8.
Okay, they have a bye, but then they play on Thursday. Okay, so they have 11 days off after the second Ticat game. Yeah. They're going to get mollywopped again. Go look at the PFF grades. Like 6 of the guys with the highest grades this week are Tigers. Now they did play the Argos.
Did you see who's back?
Huh?
Did you see who's back for the Ticats? Who's going to finally debut for the Ticats?
Was Stubblefield?
Stubblefield's in.
Yeah.
Stubblefield is
he's
in.
Yeah. I thought he played last week. He didn't play last week?
No, he didn't. No.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Ottawa. I mean, Ottawa could win this game and score, that's why this total is 54.5. There's high variance in this game. Like Hamilton's defense can be beat. We saw that last week. But,
you're assuming
the Tigers are going to murder them. The Ottawa secondary is going to get cooked by Bowe and Lawler and White, and even Shamar Bridges might make a sighting. As long as the Tigers don't try to run the ball too much, because we know when you play. I was yelling at the TV on Sunday, stop running the ball, just throw it deep. And guess what, Trey Ford, he just chucked it deep. There's 3 red blacks there, and Dunbar catches it because they all can't cover. Just throw the ball. Don't even try to run the football. Why would you?
I know.
This team can't cover you and me out there right now. It's a joke. No one's talking about it. Last week they're talking about it's just we gotta 1-2 plays. This week they're talking about penalties. They're not talking about we can't cover anybody.
Yeah,
Like that's the biggest. Okay, penalties, but you can overcome penalties. You know what I mean? 5-yard penalty, your offense is pretty good. You know what I mean? You think of procedure, it's not ideal, but you can overcome procedure penalties. You can overcome pass interference penalties on defense
and all that.
But you can't overcome. Right? Sorry,
that's what it is. It's just all these little tiny. You overcome the tiny penalties. They take a lot of dumb penalties. A lot of offsides, a lot of time counts.
Yeah, it's not dumb. It's undisciplined penalties. It's
like
I'm shocked. Right? I'm shocked. Like I get it. The bye week's in 2 weeks. Like they're gonna get cooked by Hamilton this week. I expect them to. Like Pinnacle has a total of 55.5, 56.5 on FanDuel. Like nobody's betting the under because Ottawa can't cover anybody. What's the Ticats team total? It's got to be like 30. What is it? Oh, it's. Well, there's 29.5s out there. You sign me up. They're gonna get to 30. Minus 130. Yeah, minus 130 at the score bet.
The way I look at this game, I parallel it. Is Ottawa and Toronto the same team? Toronto is better.
No, Toronto's better
here. So it's like I get where they're coming with the 5-5, and I kind of wish I took the Hamilton minus 3.5 when it first opened.
Oh, I don't think it matters. This is one where the line move because look how high the total is. The 2 points really matter. I mean, okay, in theory, Ottawa backdoor, but they didn't cover 5.5 last week.
No,
the total keeps going up and up and up because Hamilton's and the best PFF grade was the rookie Hauser was 91 this week, and okay, they're getting a lineman back, which is good news. Drew Brown might last the whole game. But I mean, Ottawa's weak in offensive line and they're weak in the secondary, and Hamilton is strong at receiver and strong at defensive line. Hamilton's weak in the secondary, so Hardy might, if you can give Drew Brown time, that's why this total is 54.5. But Hamilton's O-line is okay, is pretty good. It's the best in the CFL. I mean, none of the CFL O-lines are great, but Hamilton's is near the top. Especially this season with the Argos O-line regressing. And so that's, as long as Hamilton doesn't try to run the ball, which they haven't been very good at. Though they did get a good run drive.
Really running. They had 1 or 2 against the Argos. But, I mean, why are you going to be running the ball when, one-to-one coverage against Lawler is not doing anything to them?
But Ottawa put 3 guys on Lawler. Who's going to stop him?
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be
if he's not on your fantasy this week, you've already lost.
Now, the worry is he just had the great game. Maybe Ottawa just takes him out. But I mean, were they going to put the whole defense on him? The secondary hasn't been able to. I told you that Trey Ford just chucked it up there to Dunbar. There's 3 guys in the area, and Dunbar comes down with it. I mean, these guys, they're not very good. And then they take penalties. So then Bob Dice pulls them and puts in the guys who are worse. And then your best corner or your best defensive back, he's in Calgary now. He was the only guy keeping your secondary together last year. So I made a mistake
in the. Was this guy to this team? He was the whole team now.
The secondary. I mean, the secondary is horrid, and there's no comments about this. But the total keeps give me Hamilton. Give me Hamilton team total over. Hamilton minus 5.5. Hamilton. I mean, nobody has. Another thing I forgot to mention. Nobody has won and not covered yet. All the there hasn't been a L, but they covered the spread. Maybe Hamilton against Saskatchewan. I don't know if the 5.5's popped up. That might have been the only game, but I don't think anybody's won and not covered. So
yeah.
Lay the 5.5 here. I don't see why not. And then over 29.5 minus 130. If you don't want to lay 130, you get 30.5 closer to pick them. But the Ticats getting a 30. Ottawa can't cover. I would be shocked. And Hamilton's owned Ottawa except for last season.
Yeah, which could be
so. Yeah. I mean, it's.
If Hamilton wins this game,
one team is cooking, going up. The other team is at the when you get smashed by the Elks, but the score was flattering, so this line isn't 7.5. But you probably should be. It should be 7.5. This should be 7.5. The way Hamilton is playing, the last And it's 2-3 weeks. Are they 2-2 or 3-2?
2-1.
2-2. But they haven't lost to the East yet either. They beat Montreal. They beat
They're
Toronto.
winning the games that matter. They were winning the games.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're not very good out west. We know that. So these are the games that matter to them. And if they win this game, I believe they're in first place.
They would be in first in the East. Yes.
Yeah, because they would have won every game against the East, so they'd have the tiebreaker against Montreal.
Yep. They will be in first. They will be 3-2, tied Montreal, and they'll be ahead of them.
Yeah, because they're 3-0 against the East. Yeah.
It is,
and they beat Montreal head to head as well.
They did. Obviously, if you're Hamilton here, you take advantage of these next two games. I didn't click that they are facing Ottawa back to back. What a terrible spot for the rest.
What's the Grey Cup number right now for the Cats?
Ticats plus 1,000. Don't get yourself.
Well, you bet it now. They're playing Ottawa 2 weeks in a row. They're not firing Dice.
Yeah.
Because they would have. I don't know. Maybe they do fire him this week. But like the players are sticking up for him, or they're blaming the coach. It's not him. It's on us. Well, this is a pattern now. And maybe it's not him. Maybe it's the general manager. Because I mean, losing Webb looks really bad right now. Like it looks atrocious.
You also brought in Campbell, and he has been terrible. Your team.
I mean, I get it. Peter Godber got hurt. Okay, your center. It's never a good thing. But you've won one game because the rain was your secondary. So unless it's raining in Hamilton, I think it might be. I think there's stray showers in the area. Yeah.
And then you play Crumb?
Yeah. So you bet on Ottawa when it rains, but unless it's raining, this team is fade city right now until Bob Dice gets fired or something happens. Like they can't cover.
Listen,
they can't cover anybody.
The Ottawa of the old is back. Just accept it, CFL fans, especially Red Black fans. If you didn't show up for your team last year, I'm sorry, that was your window. It was one season. So they were
so high. Like everybody was so high on this team in the off season, but because Drew Brown, second year starting, they look good, but
he was hurt. To be fair, I mean, listen, the guy has dropped 300 yards each game he's ever played.
No, he's good. Plus. He's a great quarterback, but he has good receivers, but they can't protect him, and he has to score 40 points. They got 50 on the Argos last week. How many are they going to score here?
They might get 60. They might get the total here.
I don't know. They get 60. I mean, I'm not betting on Ottawa shows up and beats me. Good for them. But I'm betting this.
Double down on Hamilton next week.
Well, I don't know about that, but I dare him. I dare him right now. I think the Ticats are going to mollywop these guys. I don't think it's going to be close. Now, it's coming off a Toronto game. Maybe they're a little lackluster, but I mean, if they start slow, even like you can come back on these fools. So
Hamilton's looking like they're having fun. The players look like they want to win and want to play well.
They are playing well. They are playing well. They need the secondary, but Stubblefield is going to help. It's going to be hopefully he's going to help because the secondary needs help.
I think so.
That's about it because Toronto did score 38.
Yeah, but Toronto also had the
return touchdown and a very good Bob isn't going to cook up that opening drive the way he did what he did. So. This could get bad and this could get worse as we go along for Red Blacks fans. Just get rid of Dice. Get rid of it. They got a clean house. This is a mess. You have you have a guy. You have maybe the best pass rusher in the league. So you have a guy quarterback Drew Brown. You have maybe the best pass rusher in the league, Lorenzo Malden, and you're getting whooped, by the Elks.
Mollywop.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Then they made it look better because they play hard for Dice. And I get it, they play hard for him, but they take penalties. They play too hard. You know what I mean?
He is a bit of a player's coach where I do think he gets a little bit of safety there in terms of being protected. And players,
these guys need a shot.
But they do need someone to be a bit more disciplined.
They will be bet on, though. They will be bet on as soon as if he's fired.
I'll agree.
I feel like it would be such a shock that would be the week.
Let's talk about the next game here. So I just a quick recap on the Hamilton one. I have team total over a unit and Hamilton minus 5.5, also a unit.
Yeah, whatever number you get, 5.5.
Got it.
I think that might be 5.
All right. So let's talk about this game here. BC leaves Montreal, goes down to Edmonton, takes on the Elks. It's a rematch of the first matchup that they had this season. Two completely different teams from that opening week, I would say. BC obviously a little bit on the injury. Now, granted, Nathan Rourke is back. But Edmonton, outside of it seems like Javon Leake didn't practice today, and Robbie Smith, which was already decided on. BC still seems to be a bit more hurt. Even Justin McInnes was a bit limited this week. Nathan Rourke back on the limited, but I think he does start. It's a Sunday game, so they'll probably start him. It'll be a battle of the Canadian quarterbacks again. This one's interesting. It's 2.5. It's probably, I think, by the time kickoff comes, it'll probably be a pick 'em. I think there's going to be a little bit of money coming on the Elks way.
I think this opened 4.5, didn't it?
It did. It moved towards the Edmonton.
That's
it
probably correct.
It was very high on Lions to start. But I think people are probably sharing a very similar opinion to me. Despite the Lions being 2-2, I don't think they're as good as their record suggests. And mainly because if you're facing a team that actually has competent passing and competent defense, and I do think Edmonton does have a little bit of competency here, and the ability to score. I think the Lions are in a bit of a pickle. Again, if they're close, come towards the end of the game, they can burn you. Definitely, if they have the last.
And Edmonton likes to keep teams close. They don't like to run.
They do tease quite a bit. But I mean, I look at this thing. I like the Elks. I've liked the Elks more and more since that third quarter against Winnipeg. They finally got their W. They got Gilliam what he needed, which was the win. He's got that monkey off his back. And maybe they drive a little bit of momentum here, but BC is a little bit high on their win too. But they did have a nasty end to the game. A couple of suspensions, a couple of guys.
Yeah, they're out. The D lineman is out, suspended.
Yeah, so is that the smartest thing to do after a game that probably didn't mean much in the long run? Probably not. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this one? I'm leaning the Elks here. I kind of just vibing right now with Edmonton. I like what I'm seeing. I like that they're trying hard for their coach, that they were quite happy that he got the W. You can see the Fords out there giving it their all. I like that Cody doesn't try to take the limelight as well. Like he's being inserted into the game, but he's also not making the game his. He's just like, I'm playing a role. That's my role. I'm not here to take this guy's job. I'm not here to create controversies. You didn't hear anything from the Elks after that. You didn't hear any bad, Trey going, oh, I wish I played the whole game. Or Cody saying, yeah, I came in.
Well, he didn't look very happy at the end of the game. But, he's been through a lot. I give him a pass.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was just more of like, because the thing is, at the end of the day, he did come back in. It's not like he was gone for the rest of the game. And who knows? Maybe it was precautionary. Maybe we don't know the details. Maybe his hand was cramped. Could have been as simple as that. Who knows?
Nah, it was pre-planned. It was 100% pre-planned. He had his helmet on.
Yeah, he did. I know people were speculating, oh, maybe he's hurt a little bit or something, but I don't know. The Elks had a good turnout too in terms of people, and I mean, not obviously full stadium and stuff, but This is the kind of city
Good.
that gets behind a winning team. So the more they win, you see more of that fan base engaged. And now it's the summer, so everything points to Edmonton wanting to be back in this picture. But it's an opportunity definitely for BC to also jump back into that playoff picture. So it's going to be a tough one. What's your thoughts on this one?
My thoughts is if you like Edmonton, take the 2.5 because we saw what happened last week with BC. This could be one of those games where they win by 1 or 2. I wouldn't be shocked if the last second field goal because the Elk let him back in something dumb. This is why last week I did take the 2.5, and we saw where it was like, oh, the Elks are up 2. These points going to come into play. The big thing that stands out here, BC allows a lot of rushing yards. And the Elks love to run that ball. They love to run the football. And the Elks can run the football. They ran the football against Ottawa last week, and that's their strength. The strength of the Red Blacks on defense, but by a mile, is the run defense. And it didn't work at first. They were stuffed a little bit, but I'm going to pull up the stats right here. Yeah, Justin Reagan, 105 rushing yards against Ottawa. Yeah, they're going to run here. And I think that's what people are seeing. The big matchup advantage here. Of course, Rourke's going to score on the defense, but McInnes has a hip injury. You know what I mean? Gary Peters limited in practice. That's the veteran secondary piece for the Lions. Now they have a very good pass defense, but does Edmonton care? I mean, last week, they had to, they're going to run. If you let Edmonton run the ball, they will run the ball down your throat.
Yeah,
the whole game. They have a good Canadian offensive line. They have 2 good running backs. They have a good, they have very good special teams. Now I know they allowed the return touchdown, but Edmund got carted off, and that was Pimpleton. I think threw him off a little bit there. But they were very good in the second half. I forgot to mention in the Ottawa recap. The adjustments by both special teams are very good in terms of covering kicks. So I could see this game being kind of slow. I'm not paying under. Not especially with the Elks. This is not happening. This would have to be like if BC played Calgary, maybe. This is, it's Elks or nobody. I'm not playing BC. I don't think BC's for real. Montreal choked that game away a little bit. They have Rourke. They have White. Like I said, they're going to be in it. It feels like unless the Elks put them away.
I mean, the Elks do go on a bye next week, so they will play a little harder.
Yeah, what was the Elks team total 24.5 again?
Yeah, I think that's what it was on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm gonna check right now. I mean, I might do half split it up here. I don't hate that. I think the Elks can get to 25 again. I mean, they kind of teased me. They were at 24 for a while last week, and it annoyed me.
But then they
got it in the end. Like it was almost a no sweater in the end. That's the first quarter team total. 23.5. Pay some juice. Yeah, I don't hate it. Yeah, 23.5 minus 125. I'll play that. Half a unit. Elks plus 2.5. Half a unit. Elks team total over 23.5. We'll go back to the well again. I believe in this Elks team. The secondary worries me a little bit, but BC's injured. BC's suspended. You're hitting BC at a good time off a win. You know what I mean?
You're still away. You're at home. You're the dog.
Yeah. Now, Elks home.
Commonwealth is
worth 1 point. Yeah, but but you don't want to play BC. BC's home is probably worth 2 points. I would say. So that does matter. The money's come now. It's gone through 3. Is it 2? I'm gonna bet it. I looked at 4.5. So it's an Elk. I didn't expect this much Elks money to come, but it's probably the right side with a suspension and a fraudulent victory last week. But again, here if they have a fraudulent one again, you cover 2.5.
Montreal cover.
Yeah, they held Montreal to 20. They're not held, Edmonton's going to run the ball here. They're going to run the ball well, and I don't know if BC is going to score too much here. They probably will. Elks games have been crazy, but just 24.5 or 23.5. Elks are on offense are very, very good.
They held them to 14 in the first game.
If anything, this is a momentum bet. The Elks have momentum here. BC stole one.
Yeah, and to be fair, Edmonton was up.
One here,
half,
you
right?
still cover. Sorry,
Edmonton was up. Edmonton was up the first half too. It was 7-3 in that week 1 game. It was the second half where BC and Edmonton kind of collapsed a bit. But you haven't seen the same Edmonton collapse in the later part of the games.
And we talked about that game. The kicker, Blanchard, missed.
Yeah,
the rookie jitters. It was rookie. He hasn't missed since that game. I believe he's hit every kick since. Yeah. So maybe the jitters come back. I could see it, which is why I say, like I said, I'm taking the points. BC is a team that can win by 1 or 2. We saw it last week. We saw it last year. They won by 2 points a lot. I remember we had BC against Winnipeg, and we had the under, and we had BC plus 2.5. They won by 2. Rourke had 326 yards last week against Montreal. It's pretty good. This is a stylistic, in my opinion, favors Edmonton, where their run attack is going to keep Rourke off the field. BC, their run game's not very good. It's okay. But it feels like the Elks like the Detroit Lions light. Very good offense, very good run game, bad defense. Yeah. But here's the thing: when BC scores, it's going to be deep shots, and here come the Elks back on the field again. You know what I mean? They're going to run the football. Yeah, you know what I mean? I like, and you're playing with fire. The Elks win 2 in a row, but I think this is where they start rolling. They overcame their elking last week because it's Ottawa. But it's a good spot. Give me Edmonton here. Plus 2.5 and half a unit, plus 2.5, half a unit on the team total. So maybe if they get killed, they score 24.
I'll let you know this. Edmonton is the only Grey Cup team that has a future of plus 10,000 right now.
It's 100 to 1, eh?
Yeah, they're the only.
Well, they're in the West. That's why.
Only Sporting Interaction. Every other place is 5,000, plus 5,000 or less.
100 to 1, eh?
Yeah, Sporting Interactions.
They match up well against Calgary too. The problem is Winnipeg will cook them. That's the problem. Winnipeg will cook them. They would have to avoid playing Winnipeg. That's the big problem. That's the horrible matchup for them. They could beat Saskatchewan. They could beat Calgary.
They'll be in there. All right, let's recap our show today. It is a short week, but we do have quite a bit of bets here. I mean, at least 2 per game. We like the horsies, Stampeders all the way. I think the line is a little rich for Saskatchewan. I probably would put this if I was a book. I'd probably have it at 3.5. Maybe
3. Even like I'm surprised. I'm really surprised this went the other way. I saw 4.5 and I thought, should I bet it now? Because I thought that the money would come for Calgary, and it's not. I'm kind of shocked. I think maybe
the Riders are the Cowboys. Okay,
it's people with their priors. Calgary was supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
So you got to take advantage when people are still have their priors. This is not like I threw out. I told you last week. I said, forget about that. This team's good. Who cares about the win total? What I'm seeing right now, this team is good. Forget. And people are still betting, this team, it's a mirage. It's not a mirage. This team's good.
No, it's not a mirage. That win against Winnipeg was not a mirage, guys. That was a well coached and well fought battle, and Winnipeg will be the first to tell you that they weren't there to just roll over. They weren't. So we got Calgary here, Hamilton, Ottawa. This is a no brainer. Please, if you guys are still, if anyone's betting Red Blacks right now, just save your money.
No, nobody's betting the Red Blacks. No, nobody bet them last. Okay, last week the line didn't move. No, nobody's betting the Red Blacks this week. There's no way. It was Toronto last week. It was one way action because everyone was like, "Oh, Chad Kelly come back in 2 weeks." Yeah, Toronto ain't playing. They played harder than I thought. So credit to Toronto, but it didn't matter. They were outmatched. Ottawa's worse. Don't fool yourself. Ottawa's worse.
And something tells me Hamilton wants this a bit more. It's
a home game too.
Toronto. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. No, they wanted the Toronto game more. Your Bo after the game apparently Bo said, "Tell Chad to stop yapping or something." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Listen, I like it, man. I like
the 3-0's alive. 3-0's alive.
Bo this season's what? 9 TDs, 1 interception. Very clean.
Yeah, he's playing. But I said that the Argo path to victory is Hamilton turns the ball over. They didn't turn the ball over.
They couldn't. They couldn't. Man, Toronto had to do weird shit, man, like laterals to freaking even.
It was an excellent play call. Absolutely. I mean, it was a smart. Hamilton's like, "Yeah, we're not like Grant beat get the ball. That's how we lose this game." And they found a way to get in his hands.
Yeah, that's true.
Good on Toronto for that. They gave it honest effort.
Yeah. Exactly. And Ottawa's going to struggle a bit. I mean, okay, granted, Ottawa does have the weapons. They have Lewis, they have Pimpleton, they have weapons, they have Hardy. But this Hamilton team is looking better and better every time they're out on the pitch. And another team that's consistently improving as well, Edmonton. I think Edmonton is growing with the game. We did say it really early on. We thought Edmonton would slowly ramp up to what they were expected to do with their offseason. Their offseason suggested a lot of changes. We didn't see those changes the first couple weeks. We're starting to see it slowly come in. And I think they're just going to keep ramping it up. They get another bye after this game, and then they really start their hard part of the schedule, right? And they got the Rough Riders, got the Alouettes, and the
it's a tough start, but if you can escape
weather it, yeah,
500. Now I know Calgary's better than we thought. That's the problem, but I still think it's the matchup favors the Elks. If they can, their run game is how you can beat Calgary. We saw Ottawa do that in the rain.
Yeah, and let's be frank, Calgary is still one injury away from being.
Oh yeah. Vernon Adams gets hurt. The team's done. I don't even know who PJ Walker. Yeah, forget about it. that could make the Carolina Panthers roster.
It's true. Good. I mean, listen, he is a little bit of a mimic of Vernon Adams' style and play, but he ain't Vernon Adams.
VA is very good, and BC at Rourke. I mean, I get it, but
I think VA is playing with a bit of an edge too this season.
They haven't played the Lions yet, which is interesting because that would be a matchup I would be all over.
I think it's a September matchup when they first face each other. I know. I guess September 19 or something. I know they got.
I know. I wish it was Calgary, BC right now. I'd love I'd lay some points.
It would be it'd be 5.5 Calgary.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's this week. I mean, it's 3 games. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Go back to a 4-week schedule again next week.
4 games.
I know we also have. I'm going to plug you because you do NFL shows as well. Oh, wait. Before that, we have to pick a best bet.
Oh, it's a Hamilton team total over. It's no brainer. I was going to do. I said, it's not the best spot for Calgary. It's a great spot for Hamilton. Bob Dice. I mean, I don't know if it's him. I don't know, but something on that team ain't right, and you can tell. And until they shuffle the deck a little bit, it's
going to be a tough season, a long season.
Yeah, I mean, so their secondary right now isn't good. Somebody takes a bad penalty, is he going to pull him again? And then you're going to have the other guy come in who's worse. This is what this is the problem with this team. They keep pointing here and there. They can't
never
figure
accountability.
It out. Yeah, it's but like Hamilton scoring 30, I would be like, if Ottawa wins this game, it feels like they're going to score like 35. So
they'll have to score 35 plus.
Yeah, so which is why I could see it. I could see them cooking Hamilton's secondary, but Hamilton's going to answer. So this is why I said the team total is probably the better bet, because Hamilton, maybe they fall asleep and Ottawa gets a late touchdown and they cover.
Hamilton hasn't shot under 23 all season. I think their lowest was 23 against the Rough Riders.
Yeah, it's a high number for a reason. I don't want the full game over, just because who knows? Who knows what Ottawa's going to do? The Hamilton's playing so well, and I will be betting plus 1,000 that Hamilton to win the Grey Cup.
Ooh, we're taking that too, eh?
Yeah, why not?
Breaking the curse.
The team is on the rise. There's problems in Montreal, and the other two teams are.
That's true. The East looks like it's a taken.
It looks like Hamilton's going to the East final. That's what it looks like right this minute, and they play Ottawa the next 2 weeks. Who's in they're probably going to win. They're going to be favored the next 2 weeks. You gotta bet it now. This is the spot. Hamilton's playing very, very well. They own the Argos. Who cares what they did out west? If you get them in the Grey Cup, you can hedge off. If it's Hamilton, Saskatchewan, I don't have to make any bets. You're gonna have both sides.
That's true. Oh, can you imagine?
If they go to Winnipeg, it might be a problem to hedge off, because
Hamilton, Saskatchewan, and Winnipeg would feed families, man. Would feed families.
My goodness. If they went to win, I hope they go to Winnipeg and do what they did the 2021 there, beat them at home and
just do what they need to do. Yeah. Don't drop the ball.
Anyways,
Don't drop the ball.
Yeah, but plus 1,000 is wrong in this East. This East is bad.
Yeah, the jump is really high. It's Montreal at 350, and then it goes Argos, Ticats at 1,000, and Ottawa's at 1,250 right now. Yeah.
But the West is going to beat each other up. I still think the Elks are going to make a push. I still think it's going to be.
Calgary,
who knows who's coming out of the West? But it feels like the East is now. Chad Kelly is coming back, but I will talk about this next week. I don't think it's going to solve the Argos' problems. Spoiler alert.
First game against Montreal with Davis back in Montreal.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's a big fat problem. And Montreal coming off 2 L's.
Yeah. It's going to have the intensity. I'll be at that game actually. It's going to have the intensity.
The Argos are 1-3 or 1-4?
4.
Yeah, 1-4. They have 4 losses. 6 more and they're probably done. So
it's probably a crossover year if we're looking at it. Edmonton and BC could push for that.
Yeah, Hamilton would smash both of them at home. Absolutely smash them. Still with Montreal. Right now. We'll see how the season goes.
Yes. I was gonna say right now.
Right now, it would be
BC likes playing at Hamilton Stadium.
The last time BC went to Hamilton for a playoff game, I was there. Hamilton won 44-8.
Oh, that was the Pirate game. You went with Barboza and crew.
Yeah.
The last time that guy watched the CFL game.
Oh, shut up, Barboza.
You ruined his experience.
He hates the CFL.
I know. Fuck that guy.
It was like -20, and we were in the upper. It was cold. It was very. I bought a scarf. It was so cold. I went to the thing. I said, I need something. My neck is freezing.
I know. I went to the Grey Cup a couple years ago in Hamilton. It was also pretty chilly. Not as cold as Winnipeg might be, but it was still pretty chilly. I do want to shout out your other show, your pickup
Oh yeah.
show. We do have NFL football returning later this month. It's preseason, of course, but you probably
I'm
are going to
already.
start ramping up and getting prepped for your NFL season, no?
I'm already starting looking at the teams. I've already started to. I've almost made a bet. I might post it if I make. There is a team. I do like the win total
Jaguars,
under.
isn't it?
No, the under.
Oh,
The
under.
win total under. Yeah.
Different team.
Shh, don't give away the Jaguars yet. Talking about. I think they won the draft though. So yeah, the Pie Guys pick 'em will be back in August. I'm working on some stuff. This week's very busy. Having a big event at the house. So starting next week, we will be really ramping up the NFL prep and because the CFL, I think I've kind of figured the teams out for a little bit, but we're watching 3 games. It's gonna be all the game outside of the Ottawa game where I think Hamilton, like if Ottawa shows up, every game this week looks fantastic. This is in 3 games, but I mean, my goodness, that Calgary Saskatchewan game tomorrow night is gonna be fantastic.
Might be the most viewed game this season. I mean,
Saskatchewan
Friday
night. July 11th, like the everyone took their holidays last week at 9:00. Right, I mean, I know you want to get your load on Friday nights, but I mean, this looks like if you're not getting, you get your load to watch a game, or if you're just chilling, it looks like a fantastic. I'm really excited for tomorrow. Obviously, I'm always somewhat excited for the Tigers, but I think they should take care of business based on the bets. And then the Sunday game. Any Elks game. That's what I'm saying. Like you got I know they got a good number against Ottawa. This team is fun. Okay, they're gonna do some dumb things once in a while, but they're like this is a must watch. The Elks are the most fun team to watch. Last thing like Rocky Joe. Oh, here come the Red Blacks, and then Elks got him again. This is a fun team. So go out to Commonwealth and if you're in the area, and yeah.
Okay, I got one more question before we close off the cast. I know we're a little overrun here, but speaking of overrun, it's AEW this weekend.
Oh boy,
who's winning?
All in.
Tell me, Moxley or Page?
I think the Hangman's gonna win, but I would pick Page. They like the faces to go over here. Plus, he's had the title forever in the stupid briefcase. The Okada Omega match and that's the big moment. I feel is Page winning the title, but Okada Omega 5 or I think it's 5 or 6. And then Mercedes, Tony Storm are going to be the best matches of the night.
Who wins
because
that one?
I don't know who's winning either of them.
Oh, it's a toss-up for you.
I'm picking Tony because I feel like this, Mercedes got to take an L. And I don't know who's going to win Okada Omega. I really don't. You know what? I pick Okada because I think Omega's up on him, and I think Okada's got Callus and whatever. But I'm picking. I love Okada. He's the more I love Okada matches. They're fun, and his character work's been fantastic.
And who do you think wins this the gauntlet matches?
Oh,
any surprise picks here?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the obvious pick is Darby Allin. But I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not sure about that one. I think the men's Sorry.
You don't think we
could be Edge
here in Ontario? Oh, Edge. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it could be Edge too.
Yeah.
All Out is in Toronto. Yeah. We already have tickets. But I think the men's is probably going to be a surprise entrant. The women's. It's probably Megan Bain or Sky Blue. I think it's going to be Megan Bain. I wouldn't be shocked if she just like you get. This is the moment where you get her, get her the title. You could turn. I think you could turn Mercedes face.
Them up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's coming out 2. Nobody's won it from 1 or 2 yet, so I feel like you want to get one of those to win, so you make those matches to be 1 or 2 better. Megan Bain. I'll pick Darby. I'll pick Paige. I'll pick Tony, and I'll pick Okada.
All right,
and obviously Swerve and Ospreay are going to win. That's almost a foregone conclusion.
Well, I was going to say, and but all I'll say is, my boy Speedball's in this pay-per-view, so I'm hoping he gets a nice fat dub. I don't think he'll beat it. I don't think he beats the Hurt Syndicate or the Patriarchy, but let's go Speedball.
I think the Patriarchy wins that match.
Oh, I think so too. I think so.
I think
MJF does a little bit of a funny business.
Oh no, I think they're gonna give Christian the tag title, and then his partners are gonna get hurt.
Oh, interesting.
And he's gonna need a partner. Yeah.
I see. Well, it should be good. It's in London. It's gonna be
no, it's in Texas.
Oh, this one's in Texas. You're right.
They moved it to 3.
Starting early.
Yeah, they moved it to 3 p.m. because WWE put Saturday night's main event at 7. So you'd have to say, we're just gonna start at 3.
Oh,
yeah, Goldberg. Yeah.
So this is your schedule tomorrow. It's All In
Saturday
highlights. On Saturday. All In highlights of the Ticats, and then Goldberg to end the night.
Oh no, I'll put on the Ticats game, and then hopefully they'll be up 20 a half, and then we'll watch Goldberg's last match.
Yeah, maybe he gets a WWE championship too.
Oh, please! Oh, I'd rather the Red Blacks win.
Don't say that. I got money on them.
I know. Oh, God, Goldberg being Gunther's awful. Anyways, enough wrestling talk.
Yeah,
let's call it.
Not a wrestling podcast yet. Not yet. Anyways, who sees? We'll see. All right, guys. Well, with that, we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for watching again. We'll post the bets on socials. Hopefully you tail. If you do, let us know. If you're following along, we're in the green. We're finally in the green. We're moving on.
Now we're rolling. We're seeing the CFL well. So
yep. So follow along. All right, guys. Peace.